Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. We're only a year past our last episode, and we're recording stuff again, I guess. Since the last time you saw me, my wife left me. I got tuberculosis, and I'm filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. But hey, at least I got a free Papa John's pizza, so I got that going. Anywho, today we're gonna be looking at some of my old drawings I've done back from 2018 when I started drawing digitally. I'm gonna be real. I'm just gonna go through these and critique the hell out of them because I know the garbage. I'm still not a good artist. I'm not. Let's be real here. Have you seen my art? It's not good, but you know, maybe I've done a little bit better, okay? So we're gonna start off with the first one here. You know, I have to do it, I'm sorry. Here's my drawing of Thanos from 2018. This is the first drawing I ever did digitally. All things considered, for the first drawing I ever did digitally, I don't hate it. There's a few things wrong, like, first thing I noticed over here is like there's 4 gold things over here. There's only 3 over here for some reason. The shading's not half bad. I can give myself that credit, I guess. The contrast of the colors are a little weird, and the fact that like we got like a nice California raisin color over here, and it goes a little bit darker. Probably should have added some blue in there, but over here I decided to spike the hell out of that contrast with this purple right over here, and it goes back to dull, so it really sticks out in a way that doesn't work. Overall, the highlights are okay, I guess. There's this big white thing. Kind of looks like there's this big thing of man juice all over his head. Justin play a sound effect of the ocean spray. It could be better, it could be worse. His vest isn't brown. I don't know why I made it brown. It's supposed to be blue, but nonetheless, you know, again, it could be worse. I've seen worse. And they're in this video. Also, one thing of note, I hardly ever make backgrounds in my drawings. It's something I really have to practice on. I don't do it very often. This is honestly one of the better ones I've done, and it's just me messing around with brushes. It's supposed to be that little like time portal that comes behind them. I can take it or leave it. It's honestly okay. I'll give it an okay. Next up, well, let me put some background story to this. So to start off drawing, I was just like, I'll draw some funny little avatars for my friends that I'm sure will be great, and I drew this monstrosity over here of Steve Harvey for my friend Joe, and it's not good. It's definitely not good. It kind of looks like vaporwave vomit going on in the background, and I don't think I knew what a suit was. It's somewhere between like a suit and a trench coat. The face is menacing enough, I guess, but the shoulders are broad as fuck. He's supposed to be a buff Steve Harvey, but it kind of just looks like he's got like 2 gigantic tumors for breasts. You know, not great. I'm not gonna lie, not great. But again, we're just starting off. Things might get worse from here. They do, in fact. So back when I started drawing, I was like, okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to make thumbnails for all my videos and make them all my drawings. And this is the first thing I come up with. I took a picture or a screenshot from the Lawnmower Man, a video that is now unlisted, I believe. You know, I'll cut myself some slack on this one here, because I remember that the actual CGI for the movie looked like kind of shit, but there's some things going on here that I think actually do kind of work. Like the actual, if I could zoom in a way it doesn't look very awkward, the actual blending is not too bad. The colors I used weren't too bad. This like darker orange here is a little bit too dull for my liking, but it actually kind of works in these areas over here, like right under that mouth is kind of where it works. I think that the shine I have on his teeth, especially on the top ones over here, kind of works. The ones over here just kind of seem all mismatched and misplaced. You can tell I got very lazy with the actual line art over here. Now I try to make sure my line art's super crisp, or like anything I do with lines is like super crisp these days. At least I try to be. But you know, not my best, not my worst. It's actually, now I think about it, probably closer to the worst side, but you know, it's not a human rights violation just yet. It's still pretty bad though. Android 21? Yeah, 21 I think. Android 21 from Dragon Ball FighterZ. This is where my art gets way more horny. It's okay. If I didn't have a background on there, honestly, it probably would have been better because it's a lot more of a flat piece. The shading between her legs doesn't make any sense, especially when there's like no shading on her dress, so it just kind of looks like she pissed herself. You know, there's some shading on her head. I think I missed a spot over here. I think the idea was that the sun's supposed to be striking her directly, but then again, I have the highlights like from both sides on this hair and also behind this hair, so the lighting makes absolutely no fucking sense. you know, not great. The fingers, I'm still really bad with hands, but especially in my earlier work, hands are my really bad weak spot. And I'm sure you'll be noticing that later on. If you notice, a lot of my poses have a lot of my characters with their hands behind their backs. That's for a reason. Froppy from My Hero Academia. This one's pretty bad. This one's pretty bad. I think I wanted to go with like a thicker outline. I remember I was trying to like get my own style, and I saw some art Twitter, and I was like, oh, I like the thick outline sort of look that makes it seem like very poppy and very expressive. But somehow I managed to miss it all on the inside, so it looks very flat somehow, and despite the fact that it has several different colors going on. I think a lot of it has to go on the fact that back when I started drawing, and I have to stress this, I don't stress this enough, people, when you're shading with colors, you gotta make sure, actually I'll show you a demonstration. When you're shading with colors, right, I'm gonna go with like a deep rich red over here, right? Put it at 800%. I'm just gonna make a big ass ball, right? I'm gonna go ahead and add on a shading layer just with a quick little spray. You don't want to do this, right? You don't want to just go down here and make it dark, because what you'll do over here is you'll make it a very boring, flat kind of color, right? You can tell it's a sphere, you can tell it's supposed to be 3D, but my god, does it not look very enticing. What you want to do is you want to add some other hue in there. So for example, in this case, I'm gonna go down more towards the purplish area. So when I add this down, check how much it pops a lot more. Check that shit out. Forget about it. If I add a little, hold on, if I bring this back up over here and I add a little, hold on. Wait, no, that's too big. Hold on. Add a little this. Mwah. Mwah. It's probably the wrong color, actually. There we go. And let's add a little bit more. There. Oh my god, forget about it. Forget about it. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Like, are you really gonna sit here and tell me the one on the left looks better? Look at the one here on the right. It actually looks 3D. This one over here looks like a smear of like, you know when you get like, I don't know where I'm going with this analogy. I didn't have anything planned for this, but the one on the right looks better. I swear it does. Please trust me. Anyway, the whole point of doing that, and yeah, I do have my drawing tab in front of me, so if I want to go back and actually try to show you guys what's fucked up with these, I'll do that. But the whole point I was trying to make here is that, like, all these colors over here are pretty much just me going darker into the blacks as opposed to adding any other hue. So it looks really fucking boring and dull. It looks really, really dull and flat too. Doesn't help that I made the background color green. In this case, I probably should have used something like, what's opposite? I probably should use something like purple. Probably like a very light, expressive purple to make it like stand out more. Like a purple sky would have been perfect for something like this, like a dawn kind of color, because then it just makes it pop a lot more. But nope, I went with boring flat colors. Again. All right, next, here's my friend Maggie. I showed you Joe's Avi earlier. This is Maggie's. This is not the worst drawing. You can kind of tell I started getting really, really lazy at one point. I went with it. I told you before I was going with that very deep, expressive, bold lines, and you see it on the outline right here, but I didn't do anything on the inside again, except for I did it a little bit around like the arm over here, as well as like under the chest over here. But like, especially on the abs, like I just did not give a shit. You can tell the lines over here are just a mess. I just decided to scribble those in because I thought, for one, it was laziness. For two, I thought it would kind of make it more expressive, but these lines make it a little bit more expressive. I want to make it more like manga-esque, but it really didn't work. My overall, you can see a lot of my overall anatomy failures over here. Having a hard time with arms especially. I told you I'm missing those hands again. It's for a reason. That's not how that connects. And I think I got it right over here. I don't know why I got it wrong over here. The perspective's all sort of wonky, but you know, again, could be worse. I can take or leave this one. 2B. This is one of my worst drawings ever, because like this face looks terrible. It looks like a third grader drew it with like a, you know, it was like a shaky hand. It's like a Tibetan monk that was like trying to drink orange juice and he couldn't do it. It looks terrible. It looks god awful. I can tell one part over here I just erased away and never finished sharpening that line. I over sharpened over here, so it looks like she's gonna stab you with her hair. Meanwhile, it looks like somebody cut off her hair over here. It looks really fucking awkward. But the textures on the dress are actually like one of the better things I've done, and it's very intricate in the detail too. Like you see, like I made like the stitchings over here especially. Like this is one of the best things I've ever done. If I could just smooth this out a little bit more, like these, when I'm zoomed out, it's not nearly as noticeable. But like this is not bad. I'm gonna give myself that, especially those engravings on the dress. Not bad. If I could probably go back and do that sometime. I was thinking like, if you guys want to see me redo one of these drawings, from 2018 and make it in my style today, let me know which one you want me to do. But right now I'm thinking this one, especially because now that I look at it, holy shit does she have a hunchback. Like, holy god, do you see that? Do you see how she's, like, her back's all the way back here now? Do you see that shit? It's like into her shoulder. It's disgusting. And frankly, I think she could very well be in a wheelchair by a matter of 2 years if she doesn't get that fixed. But the over highlighting over here is not great. I wish I kept it more subtle like I did on the dress over here, which didn't really work out that way either, but that's way too strong. Overall, not my favorite drawing. Yeah, you know, it's probably one of my least favorites for the simple fact that it's just not very convincing anatomy-wise. I'm not a fan of this one, especially because her legs being like squished to fuck here too. It's just not great overall. Ridley. This one is another one that suffers from the same issues I was talking about before with the contrast and the color and everything like that. But there's a lot more going on here that just doesn't make a lot of sense. I remember this was made right before Smash Bros came out. Keep in mind this was 2018, probably about summertime or like September. I'm going in order, by the way, so these are all in the order I drew them. The actual colors, or the actual shading here with the colors, makes just about no logistical sense. This, especially over here, is where everything gets thrown off. And keep in mind, I was trying to use like an old render that was like a 4-pixel render of Ridley from Smash Bros when he was announced. This does not make any sense for it to be this dark over here and then this to be one of the lightest spots over here. Granted, it is like the regular skin tone, but you want to keep it like darkest and then darker as opposed to darkest regular. So it just makes no sense when you see like the rest of it over here is kind of, it doesn't make any sense, especially because I made like I don't know what to call them, like his little like liver spots. It's the same color. It doesn't make any sense. The colors are very flat. I fixed this Ridley later on. I think it looks a lot better, and I actually had like a style associated with it, and I'll show that in probably the next time I do this 2 years from now. Overall, not great again. You might be seeing something. You might be seeing a recurring trend where I'm not the biggest fan of my work. I'm just gonna say it now. I'm not the biggest fan. Moving on, we got That's Me. And I still use this picture every once in a while because, you know, they're not meant to be anything special. I didn't have to make it like some deep kind of purpley red color. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. I'm not gonna accept that, even if the shading on the hair doesn't make any fucking sense. You know, it's fine. You know, it is what it is, and if I know what's coming next, I did a lot of these, so just keep in mind that's gonna be. I'm just gonna blaze past them. Then there's Ben, and I know Ben still uses this picture for his profile picture on Twitch. It was again just a simple matter of like making everyone as fucking ugly as possible. I guess it worked. I don't know who that is, but it's somebody that I drew, and there they are, looking very much like a demonic ape straight out of a Catholic church. Like, I don't know. It's fine, I guess. There's another one. I also don't remember who that is. It's another face, and holy shit, I gave him some mean-ass eyebrows. Look at that, man. Holy shit. That one's just kind of odd to look at. And I noticed I fucked up. I didn't outline the eyes. I didn't, the color around the eyes. I fucked that up. I like this one. It's just dumb. Although the colors suck on this one. It's very light and dull. It makes him look very old. Like he's dying of asthma. Like, notice the color difference there on the shading. Also, I just noticed this too. Like, the black over here isn't even properly colored in. I just got, and look at that. I can't even color in. A fucking kindergarten could do that, and I couldn't. I just got very lazy with it, I could tell. But overall, I think it's funny. I didn't do the eyes again either. God damn it! Did I miss them on all of them? Did I just miss that? No, I didn't. I just got lazy. Okay, cool. And last one here is Hammy. If you're watching Hammy, hi. There it is. I think I remade this one. Well, remade this one down the line, probably 2019. It's another one. This one's not as great as the other ones, I don't think, because it's like the laziest of them all. Especially, you can see that eye over there. The line is just lazy as fuck. But hey, ooh, ew. Yikes, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I think this was my attempt at making an OC because I just logged onto Art Twitter one day and saw like, oh my god, everybody's got their own AC, their own air conditioning unit up on their profile picture, and I was like, wow, that looks really cool. I guess I decided mine was gonna be made out of porcelain, because Jesus fucking Christ, this highlighting, it makes no goddamn sense. I especially like the part where the back of her leg over here is highlighted, like as if that makes any fucking sense, which I guess it could if I made this correctly, but it doesn't. Also, she has square fingers, if you notice that. That's kind of when I started, I think incidentally, this is where I started going more like, not cubistic, because I'm no Monet, who was That's pointillism. Shit. Yeah, it's more like line oriented as opposed to being more smooth. And again, you'll see that more in my artwork later on, but yeah, it's still not great. It's still not there, definitely not. I tried going with like this sort of, people are getting to this sort of like area with like, or like shading where the lines are like blending into the colors themselves, and I tried to make that look like it's happening, and it didn't work out at all. It sticks out like a sore thumb. It looks like she's got like moss in her eyes. The eyes look like shit. The eyes look like righteous shit. That's still kind of how I do mouths, except she's not going, you know, they're not going like that anymore. Not great. This is my first attempt you can even see my signature right there. That's the first thing of my signature. It still looks fairly the same to this day, even though I haven't been making art for a long time since I've been so busy, but good evening, ladies. Oh man, that was like my favorite meme, even though it's a creepy ass fucker. I'll probably play the video when I said that thing I said. There he is. Okay. Going back to that Lawnmower Man thing when I said I was gonna make thumbnails for videos all based on my drawings. This one was gonna be for a video I never made. I think it was called Bad Kaiju Movies or something of the sort, which is still honestly the idea I'm throwing around. But as you can see here, I don't know if you can make it out actually, but this is supposed to be Pulgasari, which I did actually end up making a video on. It's funny because that one always had, that was like cursed with an awful thumbnail for the longest time because there's no good pictures of Pulgasari out there, which is part of the reason why I decided to draw him. But now it's actually one of my favorite thumbnails I've ever made. It could be worse, especially because I was working with like, if you've ever actually seen the movie, it's in like 2 pixels. Making out the detail wasn't great. The highlighting all up to the nose, up until the nose, I think is decent. So like over here is good, but when you actually get to the nose, it looks kind of like ass. It kind of looks like he's drooling man juice. Also, his teeth are all sorts of fucked up, which I guess kind of works because I always did have an issue with trying to restrain myself to making like the lines as smooth as possible, as you can probably see from my OC in the last drawing. It's making them, no, that's not my OC. Going back over here to her hand, like making them as smooth and sharp as possible. Going back to that one, I restrained myself a lot less, which I was quite proud of at the time, I recall. The colors are still not great. They're still super, super dull. Especially when you saw, like, I remember I put this as a thumbnail for one time, just to like test it out on something, and the issue was that when I put it on the thumbnail, it got so small, you couldn't even make out what the fuck it was. It just seemed like this big blob of shit. So no, not great, but cool eye, I guess. I don't know. What's her name? Ochako? Chocolate cake? Whatever the fuck her name is. This one was, I think on my Twitter, like the most popular piece of art I've ever uploaded. I think it got to like there's another one actually. It got to 200 likes, which I remember at the time like blew me the fuck away because even my Twitter to this day is still fucking barren. I don't remember liking this one too much. And it was more of just like a practice drawing with the shading. But every time I come back to this one, I find myself more and more surprised by what went right in this drawing. Mostly the hair. I don't think I've ever been able to replicate that kind of hair again. And when I zoom in, it doesn't look nearly as good. But out far away, like it actually looks like detailed and like it looked like some thought and effort went in here. Like I haven't been able to replicate this again. So I don't know what I did right. I wish I could change the colors a little bit, but other than that, like it's not half bad, honestly. I tried to do that same thing with the line art again, where it kind of like meshed in with the skin tone. Worked to some degree, didn't work in some others, like over here on the pink. I should have made that a lot darker of a pink. I don't know why I made it lighter than the actual, and lighter and less contrasty, I don't know what the word for that is, than the actual like shadow over here. That doesn't make any sense. Same thing with the skin tone over here. The skin tone in general. I think the only thing that comes close is that blue, and it still should have been even darker. Overall, you know, it's probably one of my better drawings from this time, if not probably the best, but still not the best overall. Still has a lot of things to fix. Yes, and now we get extremely horny. Ryuko Matoi from Kill Shill. I don't know. I'm out of jokes. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. The shading, yeah, I try to go. It's the same thing you'll see every single beginner artist do. They'll always do this blending shit, even though, you know, most of my shit now is cell shaded. I try to do this blending shit. I only ever do that when you have like a light little area you want to add some shit onto, or maybe within the shading. It helps add some flair, but when you actually do this full shading like this on a very flat piece where it doesn't need all that much shading, to make this make more sense. If I was to do this on a person, like I was trying to make a realistic drawing, that's where I'd probably use something like this kind of brush. or that kind of blending. But when it's cell shaded and you try making it look like this, it kind of looks like ass. It just looks like, I can't, again, one thing I'm noticing over here too is I can never tell where the fuck the source of light's coming from. I think it's supposed to be on the top left, but honestly it's coming from all over the place because it's like striking her right down the middle of the face, at the same time on her cheek, a lot of the left side of the hair, a lot of the left side over here. At the same time, there's like a big shine on the Mexican band over here. Not great, really not great. I also remade it a Ryuko later down the line. Very different kind of style. Also, this makes no fucking sense. I don't know what the hell is going on over here. Her shoulder's like all the way down to where like ribs are supposed to be, I guess. Makes no logistical sense. Makes no anatomical sense. Colors are horrendous. It's awful. The hair or the eyes or something I tried doing. I remember I tried doing like that half moon crescent sort of eye shape, and I guess it turned out okay for the pupil here, but the shading I did inside could have been a lot better. The highlights or the little like glisten in the eyes look like shit. They just kind of look like white dots of puke balls, fire. I'm actually having an aneurysm right now. Not good. Not good. Momo, is that her name? I haven't watched My Hero in like a year. I don't know. Not great. I'm noticing I went back to that like deep outline again, and I also tried doing God, I went the completely wrong color for that skin tone. It wasn't even consistent with it. I don't know if I was trying to be, and I tried to do that little meshing thing again, and it didn't work out at all. I remember I was so disappointed in this one. I actually did the same one like a few months later, which we'll get to here soon enough, but God, is this one bad. This one's really bad. And I tried like doing some snazzing up with my logo there, or my signature. She's got a thick ass neck, she's got a long ass neck. If I was to take off that collar right there, she'd have a long ass neck, and she droops her shoulders down like a motherfucker, which is still an issue I have honestly with the drawings. The eyes are really boring. It's just like two lines, which can work in some situations, but in many situations it looks really boring. It looks like she's got a wig on or some shit because I decided to shade it the way I did with her hairline, which makes no fucking sense. Again, it works in some situations, but not the way that I did it. Flat colors. I decided to go very, very, very gray. Should have thrown some blue in there, or probably some purple, but nope. D-. Broly, this is one of the first ones I remember being like particularly proud of, and now that I look at it again, there's some good things going on in this one, I think. The number one thing, I like this bolt over here. I like this one a lot. I don't know why. It looks very jagged and uncontrolled, whereas like this one looks controlled. That one looks nice and jagged. This one looks controlled and I just erased the thing. I can tell I did that. This one looks like I tried to make it chaotic and I failed to do that. This one's too clean. The actual green ones look pretty nice though. Not so much on this side. On this side, I like these two especially. But the actual drawing of Broly, I went too flat with the colors again. And I've always been thinking about redoing this one too, so it's kind of between this one and 2B for me. Again, if you guys have a personal preference, I'll go ahead and do that. But the colors here really kills this one, I think. I try to emulate like the what's his name? Shitani? The one that animated the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. I tried to go with that like kind of like line style. It really didn't work out. It kind of just looks boring. Because I remember I tried like erasing some shit out. It doesn't seem like it at all. I did another Broly picture later on that I'll probably do for the next year's thing. Or rather it'll probably be next year too. Don't worry about that. But it came out a lot better. Still could do a lot better. But overall, it's not a bad drawing, I don't think. It's just it's not there. It's not there. I remember I try to make this one like the best one ever. That's always where I find myself improving, where I'm just like, I want to take the full amount of time to make this as good as possible. Either that or I take like a 6-month break and the next drawing I do is like the best thing I've fucking done for some reason, even though I'm completely out of practice. Overall, not bad, not good, but it shines among the rest of them. That's at least a thing. His one of his eyes bigger than the other one too, but again, I think also his ears are heavily misplaced, I think. I think they should be a good bit lower, but again, neither here nor there. It could be perspective. There it is. She's got a loopy eye. That's funny. Dragon. So that was one of my biggest things to draw as a kiddo, was a dragon. And I tried to do it in Clip Studio Paint, and it didn't turn out very good. My hand drawing on paper and everything like that tends to come out a little bit better most of the time, depending on, there's a lot more control on digital just because you have the ability to erase perfectly and stuff like that. And colors I don't tend to do very often with my hand drawings. I tend to just do black and white. So I'm glad I at least took the step to try and do this. Like I could tell that my heart was in the right place, and if I made this in black and white, and I should probably just do more sketches just like that, honestly, just for practice sake. But there's a lot that could be better with this one, especially the nose is the main issue I see. It perspective-wise, it makes no sense. The eye over here, I got very, very lazy with, like the armor around the eye makes no sense. Like this is kind of based on one Mark Crilly drawing I followed. This one falls flat a good bit. There's again some things I like about it here. I try to do some stuff. I think I was starting to learn the contrast color stuff because I put some like highlights on the contrast colors, the complementary colors on the cloud, so you can see here yellow, purple. So it stands out a good bit. There's some nice highlights going on here, especially with the clouds. I'm still not good with clouds, but these are some of the better ones I've done, honestly. So I can't complain too much about this one. Tree. I remember this one was a practice for backgrounds because I suck at backgrounds and I don't like doing them. Try practicing the same thing with the cloud again to a much lesser degree. You can see over here that yellow makes no sense in this picture. I probably should have gone with a blue. Or no, in this case, if it's, actually I guess I should have gone with the yellow, but like a less saturated one. Either way, not great. I don't exactly know what's wrong with it, other than it looks like shit. I can tell you the tree itself looks like shit. And those are some presets on the leaves, so don't think I spent my time making that shit. Not great. And I know what's coming next too, because the next idea was to try to make practice with that. And it just didn't come out. This one didn't come out great. The next one didn't come out great either. There it is. I think I learned my lesson with the trees and try to make them less saturated, but it still looks like shit. There's girl. There's girl. God, she looks terrible. The highlights make no fucking sense. One of her ears, she's like cauliflower ear for some fucking reason. The eyes are, I think I was trying to, every time I made a new drawing, I tried something different with the eyes. And I guess fair points to me, I knocked myself out of my comfort zone regularly, but except for the hands, of course. The one thing I can't do is hands. Her face is it's just like the slightest bit too out. Like it's like too high. Her eyes are too high. I should have brought that down as well as her mouth. Like if you just cover the mouth right there, it looks like it's too high. These days I've been adding like a little lip thing on the bottom. I feel like it needs that too to kind of like make it feel a little bit more full. The drawing, I tried doing the like brushy thing, which I contain myself a lot more here, so it looks a lot less bad than the other one, but still bad. Not a fan. This shading over here makes no fucking sense. I think I just wanted her to look like she had big booba. Nor does this shading make any sense over here, but you know. Live and learn, I guess. My favorite. Oh wait, I got Sonic. Hold on, where is it? I actually purchased this. I actually purchased a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog on the PlayStation 3 from 2006, and I don't regret it. I expect I'll do something with that, I'm sure. That was it. I remember actually liking this drawing a good bit, and I remember a lot of my friends told me it's probably one of my better drawings I'd ever done. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I managed to replicate some of that like Ochako stuff with the hair here. The crown shading is pretty good. Again, a little flat, but it's there with the highlights. I started learning what overlays do and stuff like that. Like I think that one has a glow effect on it in particular. Lines are the biggest issue with me on this one, as well as, I mean, overall anatomy and everything like that, which I guess makes sense until you get over here and she just becomes like a pencil. She becomes like a straw you drink Bowser juice out of. Again, reoccurring theme. I motto of the day, it could be worse. The shading, I'm noticing the colors are right now. Like over here, that looks a lot better. Things are getting better here. The shading on this arm is not great. That's honestly still how I probably shade it. So I mean, again, I'm not a good artist, but the one thing here I'm noticing is in all these collars, which I didn't shade the gray part of, I'm noticing there's one big spike in the middle in all of them that makes no fucking sense. Nor does this one make any sense over here, because that's too turned in. That perspective doesn't make any sense. These are just fine. Like these two over here, those are just fine. This one over here is fine enough. I probably should have thrown another one over here now I see it, but yeah, this one's fine. This one's a drawing of Jariv I never finished. My good old boy Jariv, who now does the Off Slate Media, I believe. I'll link that podcast down below. But nonetheless, is one of him I never finished. The idea with this one, now that I had gotten like Joe and Maggie, and I was gonna do one of Ben too, I think I might have that one on here, I'll check here in a minute. The idea was that I was gonna try to animate an anime opening for the boys. Oh, there she is. I told you she'd be back. Here she is, looking like a goblin fucker. That one's really fucking bad. I feel like the other one had more merit to it. I remember this one was trying to be, if there's one thing I'll give myself credit for, actually, not anymore, because she's got like a pinky for a thumb, but At least I tried doing hands this time. Like, legitimately, her thumb is a pinky. Do you see that shit? Her shoulders are still too low. Her neck is still too long. There wasn't a whole lot of fixing. There was a whole lot of more fucking up, though, actually. The eyes are still too high. At least I didn't fuck up the shading on the hair again, so it didn't look like she was wearing a wig, but the shading's still terrible in the first place. It's not good. I tried changing things up with the signature I see. I tried making it, like, fancy with the art part of it, too. But now I think I just changed it back to cynical again. There, you know, these days, this drawing is not as funny. But he left Blizzard, so I guess it's okay. This is Jeff Kaplan, I think. When he was a big meme, right back when Overwatch was still popular, and I was still super into Overwatch. There he is. I don't want to talk about him anymore. All right, so that is in fact it. I unfortunately, let me just. Oh, Jesus. All right, so that concludes another episode of. This isn't even part of the same series, actually. What the hell am I on about? This is the end of my 2018 drawings. If you guys like this video, do let me know, and maybe I can consider doing one for my 2019 drawings, and then I have one for my 2020 drawings. And I haven't drawn anything this year, so fuck that year, I guess. But you know, let me know what you think. I'm gonna be bulk recording some stuff, so I don't actually, you know, just not do anything again for another year. Anyway, thank you guys for all watching. What? Thank all of you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. I still hate being behind this camera. I still hate it. I see that thing staring into my soul. I hate it. Bye.